The Immortal Mask, a 1970s superhero crime noir adventure, follows a retired soldier turned reporter who is given a coveted interview with a death row inmate. What he learns thrusts him into Atlanta's shadowy underworld. He'll have to use his military training to survive being hunted for possessing the information that could topple the city's most powerful ruling class. This is not a pre-order or a crowdfunding campaign. Get your books now at denali's.com.
Oh man, I wish I could find a way to better advertise Apothic Press.
Just back it already.
Whoa, Crom, what are you doing here? What's this? The Madness Roku Network. Sponsorship. 1 month of playing your 30-second ad on the network 3 times a day? Oh my gosh, for $20? And you can't beat that.
Just back it already.
All right, Crom, I'm doing it. Awesome. Hi, I'm Tanner Hurley, founder of Apothic Press. I back the Madness Roku Network, and so should you.
Welcome back, readers. When we last left Los Angeles, Alan Miller, our ex-detective, had nightmares about strange beings. He was tasked with finding out who killed Detective Patrick Perkins, a man whose heart had been removed. With no leads, Miller had a run-in with a UFO, who informed him that a shapeshifter knocked off Perkins. The kicker? The monster also hides within Central Police Station, alongside Alan's fellow officers. Alan deemed his experience utterly bonkers, until he found the UFO he encountered yapping to the captain. The detective barged in to let the alien have it, but instead found Alice Tate, his new partner. The stage is set. The hard-nosed detective and the ego rookie set off to find their elusive killer. In our next chapter, the two traverse 1940s Los Angeles, meeting UFOs hiding in plain sight as their mystery gets stranger by the day. Meanwhile, the shapeshifter remains at large, hunting down the other detectives of Central Station. Book 2 is penned by Mr. Tony James, a writer of sorts, a lover of old noir and science fiction. Returning with vigor are his 3 able-bodied artists, aces in their own field, much like our detective. And hot diggity dog, get a load of our new rewards. Many of them are exclusive to this very Kickstarter. Be sure to peruse the add-ons as well. Commemorate your purchase with these additional items. Don't be a fuddy-duddy. Back Star Noir today. It's the only way to defeat the communists.
25 seconds to curtain, folks.
Your favorite podcast is Critical Plus.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Tony James. Welcome to the show, Tony. I'm glad you're here.
Thanks for having me back.
That is an epic stash, dude.
Thank you. I've been working really hard on it.
I can tell. I had the epic beard for a while. It came down to here,
Nice.
and then I gave in to temptation one day, and I went like yeah, 5 pounds lighter.
Probably a very liberating cut.
It was, because like I wasn't doing anything with it. Like I had this image in my head at one point that was like, I'm going to grow this little Luciferian thing that's just going to come right to a little point, just like in the comic books. I was like, well, that's not working. Maybe I can get like one of these Oliver Queen things where it just kind of comes out, on each side, which nobody has ever had.
Mm-hmm.
No, mine just went Grizzly Adams. And I got tired of it. But yeah, that's got to be a lot of work. I mean, you got to trim you got to shape it.
Yeah. There's a lot of constant shaping, once a week trim, like lots of product that goes in to kind of keep it moisturized and held up. It's a lot of work.
Yeah, I can't do that. And on top of this, you're making comic books.
Yeah.
So you're double punishing yourself.
Yeah.
So Why make not why the stash? That's obvious. That's just
Mhm.
because it looks cool. Uh, but why comics? Why are you making comics, man? It'll break your heart, as the men say.
It's the only thing that kind of really gets me out of bed, that makes me feel kind of like a regular person. I've had normal jobs with lots of health insurance, and it just felt like wearing the shoe on the wrong foot. And the moment I just started diving headfirst into comics, the more every day started making a lot more sense.
So so how many comics have you put out there then? Because I know your first issue and this one. That's my
I had right before Star Noir, I had a cyberpunk comic called Reloader, which was about a virtual reality bounty hunter in the far future. That was actually my first successful Kickstarter. That was cool. And then yeah, just after making that, I really wanted to kind of make something else. I wrote a ton of stories during the pandemic, and Star Noir was one of them. And when we kind of came out the other side, I was ready to put a team together. And then, yeah, we did that first Kickstarter last year, and Star Noir really took off.
it's a really cool concept here. We got people in the chat ready to find out about this. Mike Walters has popped in to like, share, and say hi, and we do appreciate that. And yeah, Mike has grown his own epic thick beard every now and then too. He shaves it off, comes back fast. George Peter Gatz says this stuff looks good. I don't think he's talking about the beard. I hope he's talking about the comic.
Hope so.
Um,
Yeah.
which,
Yeah.
by the way, folks, the one we're talking about, the link to the Kickstarter is right down there. It's right below the video. So click on it anytime. It's going to open a whole new window. You'll get to hear everything Tony's got to say while you're putting money towards this project, because it ain't funded yet. And boy, wouldn't it be cool if it funded tonight? I would be.
Uh, and I am one backer away from 150. So if you back it during this stream, I will give you one of these prints totally free. It'll come with your pledge. Just one of these will come just for backing it during the stream.
Very nice. Okay, so we have a stream exclusive, guys. 149 backers here. Can we get 150, please? Has to be a physical backer. You don't
Yes.
have an address supplied if you're just going to throw $5 at the thing. I know I fulfill these things. There's no address on that thing.
Yeah.
It's a weird thing.
Yeah.
So we got the elevator pitch kind of in the video, but can you elaborate on the setting? Because I was thinking like post Roswell, but this is a little bit more communist 50s era, I think.
It is the first book notes the Roswell incident, and it takes place a few months after that. But that's sort of a background detail. We have kind of at the heart of this is this 1947. It's a 6-part murder mystery about Alan Miller, the gentleman on the right there. And he teams up with this gray alien named Ellis, who can kind of project a human form. And these two are looking for a shapeshifter who is posing as one of the officers in Central Station. So it's one of Alan's fellow officers is the killer, and they're offing LAPD officers at a pretty rapid rate as they're trying to figure out who it is.
So his partner really is an alien, because in the video,
Yeah.
you see alien and then you open the door and you see human. And does
Yes.
everyone know this, or does just he know this?
No, the first book it establishes that it's a mental projection. That Alan is the only one who sees Ellis's alien form, and everyone else sees more of like a Tom Holland type.
Okay, so Alan's sort of like got the contact lenses that Roddy Piper had in They Live, where he's like,
Yeah.
I see through you.
Yeah, and there's a deeper story reason as to why Alan is the only one who can see Ellis's true form, which the story goes into.
I'm hooked. I want to read this now. So
Cool. What's great about it, if you've not read Star Noir, is that on this campaign you can actually read the first 9 pages of book 1 just by clicking the link that comes. I think it's right below the cover. Yeah, that green link right there. It can take you there, take you to a PDF. You can read the first 9 pages of the first book, so you really get a good taste of the story, the art, the way it moves. Those 9 pages really pack a punch.
yeah, and you right from the cover. I remember this cover. I remember when you were on for the first issue.
Yeah,
That was God. It feels forever ago, but it couldn't have been.
it was a year ago.
So, so where's this? Is this taking place in Hollywood, Los Angeles?
Yeah, Los Angeles. Yeah, Los Angeles, 1947.
Right there.
This is
I
where it
just
takes
got to
place.
read, RJ. It'll tell you the answers if you look. Um,
Yeah, we really try to kind of mix when it comes to the alien encounters. Just try to create a lot of horror elements, just to really kind of just really kind of feel very grounded and believable. You when you're kind of balancing sci-fi and noir, you don't want the sci-fi to kind of come in and just push the noir stuff off to the side, and suddenly the detective's on the moon somewhere.
yeah,
So when we took the alien elements, it was about how we could fit it into this 1947 setting, and have it be believable for the characters who live here.
it's like if you retrofitted the X Files by just removing some of the technology that they had,
Mhm.
which X Files didn't really get heavy into technology, so it's sort of a timeless tale there. Um, so yeah, click the link, folks. Read the 9 pages. I'm just scrolling through them here so you can get a feel for the artwork. This strange device here is called a telephone.
Yeah,
Um,
it's called a landline, actually.
yes, you actually had to pick this up and look. You can't tell who's calling you. There's it's a roulette game. Every time you answer the phone, could be grandma, could be a telemarketer. You didn't know.
And anybody with nines in their numbers, that was a pain in the butt
Oh God,
because you have to
it
go
took forever to
all
go.
the way around.
Yes, but the cool thing about them was that you could hack those phones physically. Like if you didn't have a dial, if you just had the hang up thing, you could tap it the number of times you wanted and wait, and then tap it again the next number of times, and it was the same as if you were dialing it.
Oh, that's cool. That's interesting.
Oh yeah, it was. I did it with my friends all the time. It's like 1 2 3, 1 2, 1 2 1, and it would go through.
Cool.
Oh, we tales out of school. So when I was in college back in the 80s, we'd avoid dinosaurs to get alive back to our apartment. Um, there was a 976 number that you could dial, and it was called 976 Spell It. And
Mhm.
they would basically say a word, and you would have to spell it on your phone with the touch tones. And if you try to spell on a phone, you know how hard that is. And the more words you could spell within the time frame, the more money you could win. Uh, well, I was in computer school. We had a Commodore 64,
Mhm.
and we just programmed all the tones to the QWERTY board, and we just typed the word, and
Smart.
it worked like a champ. And
That's awesome.
they didn't pay us anything, so I think it was a ripoff.
It's a pretty genius idea.
They didn't let us cheat that system. Um,
Yeah.
But so yeah, old tech phones, old cars that actually ran on gasoline with lead in it. Those were the days
Mhm.
when aliens wore fedoras and slouchy suits. Um, so the obvious question is the one that you can't answer, and that
Mhm.
is why in the world does an alien shapeshifter want to kill off a bunch of cops? What did they send him up the river for something? Was
There is a great reason for it, and I don't want to spoil that reason.
no, you can't.
Yeah,
It's the story.
especially because book 2 is where we start threading that needle, and you start to kind of understand the motivations behind why our shapeshifter is killing LAPD cops.
Okay, so to the extent that you can tell us about this world,
Mhm.
how many aliens are there? Not just population, but variety. I mean, is Ellis just one of a whole panoply of men in black um, type of world where it's like follow me to the newsstand. We'll talk to my buddy there, and he's like tentacle monster projecting a human thing.
This is a world where there are a lot of aliens that live among this population, but it is not. It's not as in your face as like Men in Black. It's more of a stripped down approach. Um, when we see aliens, it's for a specific story reason that moves the plot forward. So it isn't really like the Men in Black where we just kind of keep bumping into aliens every 3 pages. There are select aliens that we meet that have a big part in the overall murder mystery.
Are they all the gray, or are they
Uh,
different
there,
types of aliens?
there are a few different races. I don't want to spoil all of them. Well, you know what the gray one is. Yeah, we keep the mystery of the shapeshifter. You get little glimpses of what it could look like, especially in the opening scene of the first book. But yeah, as the story rolls on, we peel back more of the layers as to what's going. Yeah, you get a good look at the shapeshifter in that second panel there at the top.
Yeah, you do keep him in shadow a lot, even though there's a lot revealed here,
Yeah.
teeth and claw and bone. Um, he's not totally revealed just yet. Is that because we might recognize the alien in some fashion if we saw it?
It was kind of an idea between the artist and myself, where we kind of wanted to always kind of keep a sense of mystery when we ever see the alien. Like never just show an alien directly. The first time Alan meets Ellis in his backyard, where Ellis kind of lands in his alien spaceship, his face is covered, so it kind of creates this kind of this eerie feeling where you get just enough information, but not everything. So your imagination starts to fill in the blanks.
Okay. Um, I want to read and find out if any of the aliens pay homage to aliens we know. Like is ET selling candy? Is the Xenomorph a taxi driver? But I want to discover that through the reading.
For sure.
Because if you got the gray, well, come on, that's the stereotypical that's the cracker of the alien universe. He's just
That's
he's always there.
Yeah, Ellis is really the gray aliens in this story. That's really just the tip of the iceberg.
Very cool. Love the art on this scene, and
Thank you.
because this was Hollywood, 1940s. You had the chanteuse rooms where people would sing to swing bands and jazz bands.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sure she's a important character. I love the
Yes, that's Stella Belafonte. We tease her via a flyer in the first scene and the first book rather. And you can tell from the cover, even in this scene, she's got something going on with her eyes. There's a great reason for that. But yeah, you could kind of tell that maybe she's got a big secret of her own.
Okay. Well, and I believe she's going to show up on either a cover or a pinup further down here as we scroll.
She's both on the cover, and we did this great 1940s pinup. That's pretty awesome. That was actually inspired by art of the time. This is Louis Simpson that Alan is having an encounter with. He's a private detective, the recently widowed wife of the traffic detective Patrick Perkins, who was killed in the beginning of the first book. His wife suspects that correctly that the LAPD might be involved with her husband's death, so she hires a very snarky private detective. And Alan is a man who'll get the information that he needs, no matter what. Really kind of contrasts with Ellis, who is just much more diplomatic. Does not want to kind of be as aggressive as Alan is in this scene here.
Yeah, Alan's like he's beating up this guy's car. I love it. The guy doesn't seem to be too bright. He's like, this sled costs more than you make in a week. I'm like, how much do you think a cop makes in a week?
Yeah, for sure.
But the cop is just busting out the headlights. It's like, seriously, okay, let's lose control here.
Yeah, that's a pretty fun scene where he's trying to get information about the shapeshifter, not directly, but things that will lead him to the shapeshifter, and that's how he kind of one of two things that helps him get the information. This is another great scene where Alan is waiting on a fellow detective who, in the beginning, you saw he had the encounter with the shapeshifter. and he wants to kind of get information as to what our detective in the beginning, Detective Ray Foster, who runs into that shapeshifter, what he found out. Without spoiling what happens in the scene, things get a little derailed, and Alan finds himself being levitated off the ground in Los Angeles.
Classic abduction scene here.
Yeah.
Of course, this is the print from the first issue. We can see what the alien shapeshifter is doing. He's not just, he's ripping their hearts out, which involves, the distension of some ribs to, make way for the heart to leave. This is, and I love that you guys didn't shy away from the gore. This is.
No, we wanted to make we didn't want to do gore for the sake of it. So when we use it, it's intentional, but we want to kind of keep up the visceral nature of these murders to kind of play up the stakes.
It looks great, and all the cars in the 40s were just gorgeous classic cars.
Yeah.
So I'm guessing that your artist had a lot of references to look at. To work.
Oh yeah. Any scene that featured a car, like per car, there were like maybe 3 or 4 references for that particular car, not only at different angles, but also what the interiors looked like. So we had kind of a lot to work with in recreating these cars.
Yeah, the Art Deco style that started influencing some of the cars. Like there's the one called the Phantom. I was like, that was a superhero car if ever there was one. It was just long and it looked like a Batmobile. I would love to own one of those, but that'll never happen. Again, we see the meeting with Ellis here that happens in issue 1. The shapeshifter attacking again. So let's look at these rewards here. Let's check it out. We got some postcards.
Yep. 2 brand new ones. I can't decide which one I like more. I mean, I think they're both excellent. But yeah, the was like the second or third highest tier gets you the postcards. And then we did another poster for the cover. We did a poster for the first one that a lot of people liked. So we have the new one. And then as a Kickstarter exclusive, since the cover is inspired by the movie poster, The Maltese Falcon, we thought it'd be cool to do a black and white version just for the Kickstarter.
That is very cool. Yeah, 11 by 17 is big, folks. I just framed a bunch of 11 by 17 posters.
Yeah, I've got the other one, the old poster right behind me, right there.
Oh, and you've got some airplane nose art.
Yeah. And this is the pinup of Stella Belafonte. It was very much inspired by pinup art of the 40s. Just trying to recreate it as closely as possible using this character. So it's another fun goodie that you can get with an incredible story and great art.
Yeah. And this is a 6 by 9, so don't confuse it that because it's the same shape and size as the image here. This one's 11 by 17, which is big. This is 6 by 9, which will fit behind your comic.
Yeah, but still a good size. And then we have some add-ons. So if you missed the first book, the first campaign, you can add the first book if you want. If you want the poster that's behind me, you can also get that as well. We also made up baseball cards in the first campaign where we showed the badge number on one side, and then we showed the character on the other with some personality stats and a quick blurb about who they are as a character.
That's a good way to do it because your characters, at least in this set, were all police officers.
Yeah.
Are you going to do badges for this one, or are you going to do like a different symbology for the one side, like you did Aliens or something?
Well, the goal was to expand the deck of cards as we introduce more LAPD officers, give them their own card as well. But since this is just the second campaign, we wanted some people who missed the cards the first time sort of catch up, so that in the next campaign we can start expanding the deck.
Okay.
Yeah.
Stretch goals will be coming soon. We don't know what they are yet.
No, but they are very good. Last time, when we thought about stretch goals, it was kind of an afterthought. This time we knew exactly how many we wanted to do and which ones we wanted to do for. So those are really exciting.
Well, let's take a look at these tiers then. These are before we take a look, let's scroll back up, make sure Folks, we're still at 149 backers. We're still at 72.45. Now is your time to click something. We're going to start telling you what you can get. For $10, this is just a thank you. Your name will appear in the thank you section, and you've contributed and you've helped make it happen. Do that if you want, but come on, you want to read the story. So let's jump right down to the Black Caesar. 52 pages, perfect bound. And you get a digital copy to as a reader if you want to just slab the thing right away, Philistines.
Yeah. I mean, we kind of take the printing and shipping process really seriously. You see great art, you see a great story, and we really want to bring it home with the book that you actually get in the mail. So it's just a really pristine looking, perfect bound book. You get it in a bag, in a Gemini mailer, like taped correctly, so it's not knocked around by the time it gets to your house or wherever you are.
Gotta fit them in snug.
Yeah, it was a whole lesson that we learned when we not a bad lesson because we didn't mail anything yet, but just when we were putting things together, just learning how to keep it secure.
Yeah. And then the next level down from there is for $45. The White Shoe Slaying. Okay, so what are these tiers named after here? Because this is telling me something.
These are missions in the video game LA Noir that came out in the late 2000s.
Okay.
These are the case file missions because the two big influences of Star Noir is like LA Noir, that game, and the X-Files. So we took some inspiration from LA Noir's case files to name our reward tiers.
Got it. So for the first physical tier here, you get the book, the download, and of course your name as a thank you. With the White Shoe Slaying, you get books 1 and 2. It's 90 pages of story. You'll get a digital of each one, and you probably get your name as a thank you in the last book there as well. Am I missing anything?
Yep, correct.
All right. So this is probably where, if you've not seen this before, throw the 45 at it, get 2 books, 90 pages. The Silk Stocking Murder. Now, this is where you're going to get book 2, and you're going to get both of those 4x6 postcards.
Mm-hmm.
And you can get additional prints via add-ons. I'm assuming you can get additional prints via add-ons up here.
Yes, you can. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, if you're like in love with that postcard, but you wanted to get both books, you can either get this and then add on the book, or you can get this and then add on the postcard.
Although if you back during the stream, you get one of those for free.
That's right. If you are the first person to back during the stream, you will be backer number 150, and you will get one of those postcards for free. So what more inducement do you need? The Naked City. Here we go. This is getting you the vintage 6x9 sexy pinup of Stella Belafonte. No relation to Harry. But, dig the use of the name because it, definitely evokes the scene.
Mm-hmm.
This can be shipped in okay. So that's interesting because this is 6x9,
mm-hmm.
And you're putting it in a mailing tube because this would easily fit in a Silver Age bag with a backer.
Yeah, I mean, I figured that the prints, like anything from or to the poster, it feels more efficiently safe in a mailing tube. I don't want to cause any kind of weird bending going on. Trying to put that with the book.
Which we ship things like that all the time, and they come out just fine.
Okay.
A tube would really. I'm speaking the business end of things now. A tube would just raise your expenses extraordinarily to ship because most of your weight's going to be the tube.
Those tubes are relatively lightweight.
You're using the little ones.
Yeah.
Your tube would be okay.
Yeah, for the first
campaign, would basically be paper towel sized at that level.
Yeah, for the first campaign, we shipped them in relatively small. They weren't it wasn't hard to get those into the tubes, but it was nice and snug and kept them safe all the way to wherever people were.
Whatever works for you, go with that. So for $45, you're getting this pinup, but surely you're getting more, right?
Yeah.
So you're getting. I can't tell from the reading. Are you getting book 1 or book 2 or
Oh,
both?
oh yeah, you're getting the White Shoe Slang is the only one that it's just books 1 and 2. Everything else it comes with book 2 and the previous tiers. And then if you want to select book 1 or you want prints from book 1 or the poster from book 1, you can select all those as add-ons.
Okay, so this is basically adding on to the previous tier.
Right, yeah. So you'll get that along with the 2 postcard prints.
Oh, okay.
Mhm.
I follow it now. So
Yeah.
it's just increased what was there. And of course, if I were to just like look down here, I would see everything that's coming with it. But Kickstarter, makes it a little hard. They have at least let us put the pictures here now. So that's,
Yeah.
thank you, Kickstarter. The Studio Secretary Murder, building on to what we've had before. This is where you're going to get the 11 by 17 color poster of book 2.
Mhm.
Now that one, yeah, mailing tube, definitely.
Yeah, for sure.
And you're getting everything from the previous tiers.
Yep.
Oh,
So you can get the pinup, the postcards, book 2, and then if you would like book 1, you can add it as an add-on.
definitely added on, folks. So that's $90. For $110, you get the Maltese Falcon, which is adding on the black and white poster to the color poster.
Yeah, so you get the black and white version, you get the color version, you get the pinup, you get the postcards, and you get the book. And if you want to put on the first book as an add-on, you can you can do that with this one as well.
Utilize that add-on, folks. Now, this says all gone. You can't get any more of these, I'm guessing.
No, we had a very strong early bird special where we took a few bucks off of the second book and then the 2 book tier. We did a timed digital copy one. Those things kind of sort of fly by.
Okay, so we won't even look at those because it's just tempting you and teasing you with stuff you can't have now. But there's plenty of stuff that you can still get, and wow, I'm like already counting up how many add-ons I'm going to be slapping onto this. Because I've got no wall space left, and I'm looking at prints all the time. Like, ooh, that would look great. Whitefire Comics, hello to you too. Thank you for popping in here. You just got in here, the 150th backer to this thing. In other words, the next person is going to get one of 2 free postcards added to their order. So, link below. Click in there. Start throwing money at this thing. You've been live for what, 6 days on this?
Actually, no. It was a 45-day campaign. So,
okay.
Yeah.
So,
but it's been pretty strong from the start. For the first Kickstarter that we did for book 1, that day 1 we raised like $700. The first day for book 2, that campaign, that first day was like $2,500. And it's just been very like a steady increase. And it's thanks to all of the amazing backers. I mean, as I say in my letter at the end of the first book, it's like this book exists because of you guys. Like, I have the team, I have the desire to make it. There is a financial wall that prevents us from making it. And then you guys took it all down. So as long as you guys keep giving us an opportunity, we're just going to work our butts off and deliver you another great book.
Yeah, this is a brilliant idea. I can't think of anyone that's done it before. To mix noir detective with aliens and do it in that 1940s, the onset of the Red Scare, the onset of the flying saucer craze, all of that stuff just happening right then. Would have been a great time to have been alive.
Well, I mean, that's one of the things that really builds the tension in this story is the constant looking over your shoulder, not sure who you could trust. One of them could be the shapeshifter. So there's a lot of that McCarthyism going on.
Yeah, it's kind of a metaphor in that sense.
Yeah.
Who says comics aren't literary? Come on. So this is the second of 6 issues.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah.
What's the production schedule looking like? Is it like one a year, or have you got everything written? You just need more.
Well, I mean, yeah. Well, all of the scripts are written. The team's here. We just keep working on it. The first book, from the end of the campaign to it being in your mailbox, was maybe 10 months. And in this one, we're trying to beat it. We'd like to be closer to like 6. But I mean, the team is working on it right now. I mean, I was just doing notes with my artist for some of the pages before I got on here. So yeah, we're working on it already. So yeah, we're trying to have it closer to 6 months, like being in your hand, like in the mailbox.
Yeah, I hear a lot of people saying, well, they don't back anything unless the book's already done before the campaign's up. I'm like, the whole point of running the campaign is so that you can afford to get the book done.
Yeah. Mhm.
It's not your local comic shop. It's crowdfunding, and I think a
And-
lot of people have forgotten that.
Well, yeah, I mean that's why at the bottom of my campaign page, I have a whole graph that shows you exactly where the money's going, what it's going to be used for. So yeah, there you go.
Right there. You got
Yeah,
a Stripe. You do have a Stripe fee. You've got a Kickstarter fee.
yeah.
Stripe takes 4%. Kickstarter takes 4%. Fund My Comic takes 2%. Just saying.
Yeah. So yeah, that's you can see very clearly how the money's going to be used because it's different. If you saw me at a convention and the books were on the table, they'd be more an appropriate price because the books would have been made already.
Yeah, exactly. But it's funny. These artist people, they like to be paid for what they do.
Yes, and it's very
Damn it.
important. Yeah, very important to pay your artists and on time. They work very hard for it.
Yeah. So I'm not seeing that 149 bump. There's 5 people watching. One of them's me. So maybe I'll be the one to make it bump up. I'll think about that. Now this is the boring part of a campaign. I mean, because you got your launch, like for the first several days, it's like it's climbing, and now it's like not so much. Just kind of flattens out a little bit until that last week when it takes off again.
Mhm.
Do you find yourself checking it every single day to click on it, or well, you get notices, I guess, don't you?
No, I check it constantly, constantly. I mean, one of the good things is that we, except with exception with one day, we've been getting backers pretty consistently, which is great. So even though the trajectory is slower because it's the middle of the campaign, it's still constant. So that's good.
Uh, do you have other stories in mind?
Absolutely. If depending on how well this book does, this book 2 does, where we're at the end of it, that hopefully that might enable me to build another art team for some other stories that I have that are just as great, that also mix genres in the way that Star Noir does. So you can see that that Star Noir is not the only not the only bag, not the only trick in my bag.
All right. So I am looking right now at the add-on page, and I can see that I can add on the postcards from book 1, which weren't pictured there, but you showed them.
Mhm.
Um, the detective baseball cards, a hard copy of book 1, which I don't happen to need on this particular tier, and an 11 by 17 um, cover of book 1.
Mhm.
That's all of them, right? I mean, because I'm looking like, well, what if I wanted to get that 6 by 9 poster of Miss Belafontaine?
Well, you have to get the actual reward, but the beauty about the
Gotcha.
add-on is that no matter which reward you're getting, you can add all the things from book 1 on top of that.
Gotcha. Okay. So I know some people, they do the whole, like everything's an add-on.
Mhm.
In fact, one lady I know, quite the entrepreneur, Karen Nicole, she has a tier on her campaigns that's basically a brown paper sack. Like, here's $10, you get nothing, but you bought shipping. And then she's like, you just go to the add-on page and a la carte everything you want. Just do that. Um, I'm like, okay, that's I never thought of that, and it works for her. Um, she's doing it. So I tell everybody that because it's an option now. So let's see here. I'm looking at the Naked City. I've got the sexy pinup. I've got the Kickstarter exclusive. I've got hard copy of book 2, digital book 2. So I want to come down here now and I want to say, hey, give me a hard copy of book 1, and I add that on there. This is how this works, folks. Um, okay, let me write down that number. because I'm not going to open. Guess what? I'm not going to open my credit card information while I'm on a live stream. Call me crazy.
That would not be good.
And continue. And what do you mean password? Don't you know who I am already? I'm logged in. Security. And that's the card I want to use. And yes, I understand that blah, blah, blah. It's a crowdfunder. Now,
Let's see.
Now I've got confetti.
Hey, 150. Thank you so much.
Look at that.
Thank
100. We got number 150.
All
Thank
right.
you, chat.
All right. So which one is it? Which one?
You know, I'm going to go for that abduction picture or the landing picture.
Got it. Cool.
Yeah,
I'll make sure that's in there for you.
All right. So there we are. Putting my money where my mouth is, people. I do that sometimes. Usually don't do it live on show, but
Wow. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. Thank you so much for doing that. That I really do appreciate that.
Glad to do it. I wanted to read this the first time around, and I don't know why I didn't get it. Well, I was still in the middle of moving and setting up shop here, I think. But now that I'm kind of settled in, I don't mind backing some books now and then. So I had to have done that. Been part of this. I'm now part of Star Noir, people, and you should too. So get on the stick and make that number go even higher.
It's an excellent story. Again, you can read the first 9 pages of book 1. I mean, you can verify for yourself how good the story is, how good the art quality is. We really do everything we can to show you as many cards as we can, so you have some backer confidence.
It's so now in what 7 months I'll get to read this.
I mean, digitally probably sooner, because the second it's all together, like I won't make you guys wait while we do the printer stuff. Like I want you guys to read it as fast as possible. So
as much as people talk about the wait, especially when it's waiting longer than the estimate. I don't know. One of the fun things to me about crowdfunded books is going to the mail and like, what the hell is this? I don't know what I'm getting now. And it's a surprise. It's Christmas when you come in. Like, hey, look at this. I got a comic book. Oh yeah, I bought this, didn't I?
That's how it was for people in the first campaign. Like we started chipping them out. A couple of people emailed me going like, "What are you mailing me right now?" And you're like, "Oh, it's the book 1." And they're like, "Oh, okay. I definitely want to make sure I'm ready for this one."
Yeah, that's why I like my mailing service when I fulfill for people. I've got all the spreadsheet filled out to where like the email comes in and says, "Hello, your name here. We have shipped out your title here under tracking number this," so they know exactly what they're getting. Unless there's an error and I have to do it onesie twosie, and then they have no idea what they're getting again because it leaves it blank. So you've got other storytelling. Are you going to work on any other stories interspersed with Star Noir, or are you just going to go Star Noir 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then something?
Part of why I would like this campaign to do pretty well is because I would like to set up a scenario in which I kind of have like an A and B story where I'm basically doing Star Noir and we're doing like the first book of a different story, and then we're just trading back and forth.
Yeah, get some variety built up there. Do you see more stories in the Star Noir universe? Or
oh yeah, absolutely, 100%. We've got a really great tight murder mystery for this one, but there are a lot of ideas. There's just like a lot of ways we can go with Star Noir. Some that I'm really pretty interested in starting to kind of write and outline now.
I mean, the setting alone, I'm ready to steal it. I'm a publisher, and we do anthologies, theme anthologies. Like right now, we're reading for The Devil You Know Best, which is our, people encountering the devil theme, third book in that series. I'm like, boy, I would just love to say Star Noir, except you've already used the title, damn it. And just say, hey, 1940s science fiction, noir, detective, aliens, go for it, and just let them crank it out.
Yeah, well, we're out here already.
Yeah, I know. Have you sent this to anybody like Netflix? to review?
No. In the short term, I'm pretty determined just to make a great comic book. That's when I thought of the idea. When I thought of the idea, the first thought wasn't like, oh, could this be a Netflix show? It was like, well, no. Could this be like a great, like almost graphic novel, very gripping story? So
Yeah.
I really envisioned it first and foremost as a great comic book.
Oh, and absolutely focus on what it is, but nothing wrong with
Oh
thinking
no,
about the other medium.
nope, for sure, nothing wrong with that. I guess we're just trying to right now just finish our breakfast. We'll cross that
Yeah.
bridge later.
Mark Miller's made a quite decent living out of.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Mike Walters is getting ready to start up his show as we wrap up here at the top of the hour, folks. So be sure to pop over to the URL there and jump over to the mic stand. Get your nightly dose of niche news with comics, manga, anime, and professional wrestling.
Oh, awesome.
I always sigh when I say "and professional wrestling" because it's like
I like wrestling. I love professional wrestling.
well, there you go. You go to Mike's channel. He talks professional wrestling. He quotes stats from the top of his head because he's a human calculator.
Nice.
And then on Fridays, of course, the show is devoted to the comic book historical retrospective, where he has a guest host. Sometimes it's me. And we read Golden Age comics out loud on the screen, doing voices and sound effects. It's like radio theater. It's fun.
That sounds really fun, actually.
It's a great time. So everyone should just after you're done here, after you've hit the link for Kickstarter, don't leave the Kickstarter link, and because you won't come back, you'll forget it, folks. I know how it goes. Kick the Kickstarter link. There's a new website just born. Go to the Kickstarter, pick a tier, any tier, and then jump over to Mike Walters and like and subscribe over there. So the wrestling is on the mic stand right above your chat there, Whitefire Comics. As soon as the top of the hour reaches here, he will be covering that along with manga and comics. And now we're back to where we started, which is everybody buy Star Noir Book 2 so that we can get Star Noir Book 3, because I'm going to be really upset if I get these two books and they don't make any money on the next campaigns to finish the story out.
Yeah, I mean, the readership right now is pretty strong. I do believe in them.
I hate starting really good stories that don't get closure. Once a month, I harangue Archie Comics saying, when are you going to finish Afterlife with Archie? It's been 12 years. I'm like, I'm still wanting that last issue. I need to know how it ends.
Right. Nobody wants one of those like Netflix things where it's like a great first season and then they just cancel it. And you're like, well, there was more story there. I guess we'll never know.
Is there a catch-up tier? I'm so glad you asked, Whitefire. Because yes.
The White Shoe Slang. It's called the White Shoe Slang. It's the second or third. It's a third one. Yeah, there you go. White Shoe Slang. Right there. Catch up. 2 perfect bound books right in the mailbox, and you'll get a digital copy the second the book is done.
Exactly. 90 pages, almost 100. Let's just round up, say almost 100 of stories.
And you got to get a lot of great concept art and pencil work from the artist. A lot of art progression from it's really incredible to see how these pages come from very, very rough sketches to this like beautiful art that you see before you.
Oh yeah, and it is some beautiful art, and let's not discount the lettering and colors either, because it really adds to the overall gestalt of.
Yeah, the colorist actually did a bunch of covers for G.I. Joe, for IDW. Yeah, he did some great stuff there. He's just been incredible. He just the way that he creates this sort of vintage look on top of Pablo the artist, on top of his lines. I'm always just blown away every time they email me new pages.
Yeah, and lettering is an unappreciated art, because if they do their job right, you don't notice it. It's only when they screw up that you're like, oh, that letterer sucks. Our
letterer Marco, he's based out of Italy. He's just very knowledgeable about the craft of lettering, and he knows where to place things. He understands how to fill the space. He takes my suggestions and says that half works. We have to try the other way this way, and that usually is much more effective. So he's also very as equally talented as the colorist and the artist.
Pay your letterers, praise your letterers. They're the ones that actually end up telling the story when it's all said and done.
Mm-hmm.
So, this is the problem with 12 years of missing a final chapter, because Whitefire's like, what do you mean Archie comics? Like, yeah, so nobody even remembers Afterlife with Archie, which was like Archie was just a bland little surviving title. It was always out there, a staple, but it wasn't setting the world on fire. And then it did Afterlife with Archie, which basically introduced the concept of the zombie apocalypse to Riverdale. And it was phenomenal. It was great horror. And it was like, and it wasn't just the zombie apocalypse, but, you know, it was caused by something Sabrina did, who's, you know, she's a supernatural witch. For Jughead, she broke some rule in raising Hot Dog from the dead because Reggie's car hit him. Yeah, it was like all that stuff. So she gets banished to this nether realm where she's going to become the bride of Cthulhu. And Cthulhu's like, yeah, I want you because I actually want to come back over here and forget all these zombies I'm taking over.
Wow.
Josie and the Pussycats are vampires. It's a hodgepodge of just wonderful stuff. And the last issue they print, Reggie's making a deal with a possessed Sabrina where he can have Midge for his very own all the time. All he's got to do is one simple little thing: kill Betty Cooper.
What?
And he's like, no problem. The end.
Ooh.
You don't quit there.
Wow, that's an interesting stopping point, to be sure.
Oh, that's my soapbox. I will die on that hill, Archie Comics. I will come out there and write the last chapter myself if I have to.
Well, I assure you, the ending of Star Noir is very satisfying. It's one of those ones where we work backwards from the ending.
Nicely done. Because it's with a murder mystery, you almost have to reverse engineer those things.
Yeah,
you have to know who did it, and then you have to know how they hide it, and then you have to hide it in plain sight from the reader the whole time.
Right. Yeah. Mm-hmm. You have to
be able to make sense.
Yeah, you have to set it up for them in a way that they're not really paying attention to it, so that when the twist happens, you have to go back through the book and go, what were the clues that I missed? You have to recheck that again. Yeah.
Yeah, you can't just pull it out of the air. It's like, cosmic rays. What?
No, it's contrived if you do that. That's cheating.
Absolutely. All right, Tony. I've been babbling to fill the last few minutes here. Keep people interested in the book. I've backed it. You should. Thank you so much for coming on the show tonight. I appreciate you being here and bringing Star Noir to the audience. If you're watching this, you come on, because this is prime time and there are bigger fish in the sea right now than me going live. The link will still be right below the video to this Kickstarter. So hit it. It's got 24 days to go. It's got just over $2,500 to clear.
Yeah.
No doubt at all. Completely confident that you're going to hit that.
Yeah.
It would just be nicer to hit it sooner than later, so you can.
Yeah. We start showing those stretch goals off that we've been working on.
Yes. Let's start making stretch goals, people. All right, everybody in the chat, thank you so much for being here tonight and watching the show. We don't have a show without you guys. We're just a podcast falling in the woods otherwise. So we're glad you're here. And while you were here, as always, we just hope you had a blast. Good night.